Hello everyone, it's Chris, and we got a little more snow last night, a couple inches. I shot a great video yesterday. The video was titled, Will It Start? And it would have been a great video. I got home and I had no audio. I had audio, but it was, you could hear me when I was standing in the driveway talking because the mic that is inside my helmet was not activated, but the camera's mic was. But once I got on the Spyder, the engine noise just overwhelmed the audio. It was just a terrible experience, so I had to delete that video. I'm going to talk a little bit about why I was going to shoot a video, Will It Start? And it did start, and it's going to start right now. It's a balmy, I want to say it's 22 degrees right now, and blue skies. We haven't seen true blue skies and had temperatures this warm in a while. That's why I was worried about the Spyder and whether or not it would start. It did. I'm going to get on, start it up, and then we'll talk. Okay, so when I went out yesterday, part of what would have made that video a good video to watch is the plows had not come by yet, and the roads were really dicey. Now, I think some of you are probably saying that the roads are dicey now, and yeah, I mean, again, I don't recommend anybody ride in this weather like this, but yesterday they were really questionable. I've got a meeting in Sanborn, New York, which is just about 10 miles or so east of Niagara Falls, and that's where we're heading now. But the reason why I shot a video, Will It Start, was because the Spyder had been in the garage for 4 days. And those days were 4 frigid days where the temperature didn't get above, I want to say the highest it got to was 15 degrees Fahrenheit. And as low as 0 degrees Fahrenheit. In fact, one of those days, I, for the first time, actually rented a car for local use. I had rented a car twice so far up to that point in this experiment of mine. I rented a car twice for a long-distance ride, 2 different long-distance rides to the state of Rhode Island, where I visit on holidays. But on the week that I'm shooting this video, I actually, for the first time, rented a car for local use. Now, see how dirty this muck is? I don't know if the GoPro's picking it up, but this is like, my Spyder's going to be just horribly dirty. And I won't be able to wash it for at least a week, because as I'm shooting this video, the forecast is for just below freezing temps for... Now, there's a road that hasn't been plowed at all. Below freezing temps for at least a week, which is going to make it tough to keep this thing clean. In fact, when I get to my... Well, even before I get to the destination, I'll get off this thing and show you just how dirty this thing is. But anyway, so I rented a car because I didn't want to drive to the meeting I had on Tuesday night. Okay, so this is really bad. Not bad in terms of, I don't see much road salt, although I'm sure it's down there. And I'm not worried about traction because I'm moving okay. I'm just kind of steadily chugging along, but I'm riding in mud, basically. That's what that is. That's mud. Ugh. This is horrible. But anyway, I rented a car because I had a meeting 20 miles away. The temperature that night was going to be down to like 2 degrees on the way home. High winds, sub-zero Fahrenheit wind chills. And I thought, you know what, I'll just rent a car for a 24-hour period, get a lot of errands done that I need to do. And I did, and I'm glad I did. But when I came up to the Spyder, I'm shooting this on a Friday morning, and I shot the video yesterday, obviously, on a Thursday morning. One, the Spyder was in the garage for 4 days, frigid days. And so I thought, and 2, the roads were kind of questionable, so I thought that'll make a good video, and I'll title it, Will It Start? Well, I'll tell you, it started like a champ, it gave me that cough I think I referenced in a previous video. It's not really a cough, it's more of a hesitation. When an engine's really, really cold, it hesitated, but it started right up. So, you know, going back to the reliability issues with the Spyder that I was concerned about when I was in the market, based on stories I've heard, comments I've seen on YouTube, comments I've seen on the Spyder forums, you know, I had some concerns about reliability. Now, I was coming from a KTM, and that is not a brand known for reliability, but before that KTM, I had all Japanese brands, and they just have, you know, bulletproof engines, super engineering. They're just very reliable vehicles. So anyway, it started up like a champ. And that says something about these engines are just, at least for me at least, very reliable. Might not be the most fuel efficient engine, although, you know, it's pushing a 1,000-pound vehicle. My KTM was 500 pounds or something, somewhere in that range. But so I want to talk a little bit about my sequencing of videos. I've mentioned this on prior videos, but I can't reiterate it enough because it could be confusing to some of you. So you're watching this now, and there's probably 8 inches of snow on the ground, and Hyde Park Lake is frozen over and there's snow on it. But the video you watched before this one, and maybe the video you watch after this one, maybe it was green grass, I don't know. And the reason for that is when I shoot a lot of video, I don't want to overwhelm you with day after day of video. So I schedule a video for every Sunday, and you can just count on that for me every Sunday. Winter, spring, summer, fall, doesn't matter, every Sunday. And often I will slot in a Wednesday video, just simply because it's midweek. If I shoot a video and I don't want to schedule it so far out because I've already got so many in the queue, I'll just run it on a Wednesday. Invariably, there's a time when I literally have too many videos and I'm scheduling them far out, and they're not in chronological order. And so, you know, just please bear with me if sometimes things don't always jive in terms of chronological order. I remember when I first got the Spyder, I mentioned on the video that I was at 1,500 miles, but the previous video, someone commented, but it said 2,000 miles on the, or something like that. It was some kind of thing like that where it didn't jive. And it wasn't that I was lying. I wasn't trying to deceive him. I was just sequencing videos as best I could. At that time, I was shooting videos every day, in some cases, multiple videos every day. You know, I was so excited about having the Spyder and having the channel, learning how to use GoPro and video editing and whatnot. So just bear with me. Now, on that note of bearing with me, as you're watching this video, at some point soon, I'm heading down to Florida, and my plan is, as I mentioned in the previous videos, to take the Spyder, depending on the weather and factors like that. But because it's a mid to late March trip, I'm thinking weather will be fine for me. Now, so let me just interject. These roads are, again, the perfect reason why a Can-Am Spyder is so much better than a two-wheel motorcycle at this time of the year if you're going to ride year-round. Because I would never ride, this would be a death sentence on a two-wheel motorcycle. And I had an adventure bike with knobbies on the tires, and, you know, they were like, I think, 80/20 tires. They were decent off-road tires, but I would never ride on this. But with the Spyder, I'm being cautious. I'm going actually below the speed limit. In fact, I'm going to pull over in the right lane here and let someone pass me if they want to pass me. But this is a mess. But anyway, on that Florida trip, I'm going to shoot video every day. On the ride down there, there'll be a video every day. While I'm there, I'll shoot some cool video, but I'm not going to schedule a video for every day. So what that means is those videos are going to queue up on my schedule. Now, see all that stuff that's flying behind that truck and behind that car? Invariably, that's landing on me. Maybe not that, but at some point in this ride, I'm going to be close behind someone, and that's going to happen. But I'm dressed for it. I've got rain pants on. I've got a decent parka on my top. But anyway, so what I'm saying is when I'm on that trip, when that trip finishes, you might be watching Florida trip videos for a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, after the trip, and I guess just bear with me. Sometimes someone will, you know what, I'm going to pull into this gas station. I'm not going to gas up just yet. I'm going to do that later today, but I just want to take a look at the Spyder in the sun just so we can see how dirty. It was dirty when I started it up this morning, but just that short little ride, I'm telling you right now, has made it just, I can just tell based on what I'm riding on how filthy this thing is. So let's have a quick look. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, this is horrible. It's really not as bad as I thought it would be. I mean, this is a mess. Look at that. You know, if you ride in the snow with your car, you know, when you pull in your garage, big chunks of this stuff kind of melt and fall on the garage, and that's happening with the Spyder. And by the time you watch this video, look at that mess. By the time you watch this video, you know that I've had frozen components because I've washed this thing, and I've got to change the mechanism, the way in which, look at that, the way in which I wash this thing so I don't have that frozen component issue. But I'm learning as I go. But I think, you know, if this experiment holds and I become just a minimalist without a car going forward, then, you know, I've learned a lot this winter about how to kind of work with this thing. Okay, I'm going to splice this in. I just got back from my meeting, so I've been on the road for, let's say, a total cumulative 20 minutes. You can see how dirty it is. When the sun is shining on it from this angle, it'll show it better, but look at this. And when this dries, this is all wet, but when that dries, it's going to just be horrendous. I mean, just horrendous. It is what it is. I mean, look at all that muck. So having said all of that, if you're a viewer of the channel but you don't subscribe, if you would subscribe, I sure would appreciate it. If there's anything about this video that you liked, please hit that like button. If you have comments on the craziness of riding in these conditions, please comment. And until the next video, you have a great day. Bye-bye.